Welcome to Air Academy Associates series on using SPC XL. This short video clip will address the graphical tool called a run chart. A run chart is designed to display data over time. The horizontal axis on a run chart is time. It is probably the simplest of all charts because all it does is plots your data point and then puts lines between consecutive points. It's very easy to use, very easy to understand, and a simple chart like this will allow us to see patterns or trends in the data if they do in fact exist. We can monitor performance over time with them. We can establish a baseline from which we can determine if we're improving or maybe not improving. We can identify trends increasing or decreasing over time, and it helps us look for outliers. That is data points that don't seem to belong with the rest of the data. So let's go to show you how you do a run chart in SPC XL. Suppose we have tracked patient satisfaction rates monthly for the past year. So the data shown in the little table over here is the proportion of responses indicating either satisfied or highly satisfied with services. On a Likert scale, that might be a 4 or a 5, satisfied or highly satisfied. And for example, take January. The proportion or the percentage of patients that were either satisfied or highly satisfied was 94%. There's a little bit of variability there throughout the year. So how do we plot this data? Well, we go to SPC XL. Typically, we highlight the data first, as we've done right over here. Highlighted the data. There's only 12 data points, one for each month of the year. We select Quality Tools, which is right here on the main menu of SPC XL. And then we select Run Chart. And when you click on Run Chart, it's going to ask you what are the data ranges for your data. And if you've already highlighted it, you can go right in and finish and get the chart. I do want to say something about when you highlight the whole two columns, the leftmost column will typically be assumed to be your x-axis label. And the other column, the Q column here, is your numeric values that will be plotted. So we finish, we go to the next page, and here is the run chart. Obviously, something is different in July than the other 11 months of the year. Something stands out. This is the purpose of a run chart, to detect outlying data points, such as this one on this particular run chart. So the run chart is very simple. So let's go ahead and take some examples from the software. Here we see two data sets that we will generate run charts for. The first data set is average wait times to schedule a primary care appointment. These are given in days. So we are going to highlight these two columns. Notice that the leftmost column gives us the date. And the rightmost column gives us the number of days for that particular month, and these are averages over each of the months. So we go to Sigma Zone, we go to Quality Tools, and we select on Run Chart. And the data range here, you can see that the rightmost column, the D column here, is your data range, and the leftmost column, the C column, happens to be your x-axis labels. So we click on Finish, and there is the run chart. Very simple to get to, very simple to use, and easy to interpret. If you take a look at the last 6 data points, something is obviously different here than it was previously. Something changed in and around this time period. What was that? December of 14 to January 15? Maybe there was a new policy inserted in January of 15. We don't know. The chart doesn't tell us that, but that's why we need practitioners to understand the chart and interpret what may be going on as the background for propagating such a chart as this. So that's one run chart we wanted to look at. Another one is, let's say we want to look at the average time to process a loan at 3 different branches of a bank. And these are average times to process a loan. And so you can use a run chart to do a comparative kind of look at the data. We are going to highlight the data here, as always, and go to Sigma Zone and go to Quality Tools. Then we will select Run Chart. And again, the data here says that from J, K, and L, we're going to have the data. The x-axis labels will be in the first column I. So we finish, and guess what? We see 3 run charts superimposed on one another. So a run chart can also be used to compare different data sets over time. So clearly there's one of these branches that is different than the other 2. And that happens to be branch 2, which is the orange run chart here. And it seems to be taking longer times to process the loans. And the reason for that is not shown on the chart. And this is why we need subject matter experts such as yourself to go in and understand what may be the reason why branch 2 is different than branches 1 and 3. That in essence is a run chart. If we go back to the data, what if you just put in, you didn't put the column with the dates in it? What if you just highlighted the data itself and went to do a run chart? What would show up on the horizontal axis? Well, the numbers 1 through 19 will show up. Let me demonstrate that. Let's go to Quality Tools and get the run chart. And so we have no x-axis labels, but you could add it here if you wanted to, but let's just leave it blank for now to see what the software does. We finish, and you now see on the x-axis the numbers 1 through 19. Now, you still have Excel, and you can annotate the graph. This is obviously a run chart, but it is average time for getting an appointment. Okay, and like I said before, the y-axis, you can change that, and you can say this is number of days. So you can annotate the axis to correspond to your unit of measure, which is number of days here, and the x-axis, of course, we left that unassigned, so it automatically put in the numbers 1 through 19. So that, folks, is a run chart, probably one of the easiest tools of all time. It's something we could do pretty well without computers, but obviously the software makes it much easier for us to look at the data in a period over time. Thank you very much for watching our video clip on run charts.